Here is your at-home high-intensity interval training set. We're going to start with our jump squats, placing our feet hip distance apart. Sit back into your glutes, bring your arms in front of you, and then jump just a little bit up. And use those arms to kind of help toss you up. If you're jumping, make sure your feet land really soft. If you would rather not jump, just lift for your toes, back to your heels, to your toes, to your heels. But if you're going to jump, try to do this at whatever pace feels good for you, making sure to continue to land soft.
These are your alternating lunges. We're going to do one side at a time. Start with your feet under your hips. Take your left leg back. Lower your knee to the floor, keeping your back nice and straight. Push your weight back up to standing. Do these nice and slow. You want to explode your weight to come back up to your standing position from your left foot. And keep all of your weight loaded here in your right quad. And then you're going to alternate for your next set.
All right, it's time for mountain climbers. So as you come down into a plank position, press yourself onto your hands, lifting off of your knees, pull the belly in tight, and then draw the knees towards the toes. It's really important here to keep the shoulders over the wrists. Don't allow for yourself to travel back, and especially don't allow for those hips to come high. Keep your neck nice and neutral. Make sure you're not looking down at your toes. And focus on breathing with keeping your core very tight.
Next up is jumping jacks. Arms come up, feet come out at the same time. If jumping is not feeling good for you, you can step these one foot at a time. Keep breathing as you're stepping out or as you're jumping out.
Now it's time for bird dogs. So place yourself in a tabletop position with your hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips, with your toes tucked. Send your left leg back with a flexed foot and allow for that leg to be parallel to the floor. Keep the stomach tight, reach the right arm out and hold. As you release, let the hand and the knee come down at the same time and switch. Trying to lift your limbs at the exact same time and also trying to let them release down to the floor at the exact same time. Keep your breath strong, keep your belly in tight, and make sure that the low back doesn't sag.
It's time for high knees. We're going to do a couple of variations, starting out with putting your hands just right at your hip distance. Bring your knees right up to your hands, nice and high, keeping your belly in tight. You can even add a little challenge in here by taking them across to the opposite hand, and then add a little bounce in there if you like, for a little higher intensity.
All right, let's do some side shuffling to get the heart rate up. So take a little bend into your knees, have some mat space, and then take a nice shuffle to the right and a shuffle to the left. You can skip a little bit back to the middle. You're going to want to move quick and light on your feet, keeping your core nice and strong. Of course, you can slow this down and step it, or you can stay as low and go as quick as you would like. It's time to do our inchworms. So have your feet hip distance apart, keep a little bend into your knees, draw the stomach in tight, bend over at the waist, feel a nice stretch at the back. Use your core to walk your hands, one small handprint forward, align the shoulders over the wrists, and then use your belly button, scoop it in nice and strong as you walk your hands all the way back. You can come all the way to standing, or you can stay in your fold. You can also add a nice push-up as you come forward, whether you'd like to come down to your knees or you'd like to stay onto your toes. A lot of different variations, but make sure you move slowly and make sure that you use your core.
It's time for fast feet, and you can do this in several ways. This is just pretty much like jogging, running in place. You can do it right here. You can step to the side. You can come forward. You can come backward. The key is to just stay low and keep your feet moving, keep your arms moving with your feet, and keep breathing. Get your heart rate up.